Ladies and gentlemen, it is finally time for me to bring you guys my long-anticipated video game collection video. Now, for the people who clicked on this video and have no clue who I am or what I'm about, as you can tell, collecting video games is not my main hobby by a long shot, but just like you and so many others, playing video games has been a huge part of my life growing up until now, something I have enjoyed so much. And in my recent manga haul videos, I started showing off the video games I would pick up each month, and you guys were surprisingly receptive to that and wanted to see more, which I love to see. So I decided that I wanted to upload a video on this channel showing off my entire video game collection. Now I counted, I have 85 video games total, which of course is not the biggest game collection you'll ever see, but these games mean so much to me, some from my childhood, some of the best games I've ever played. We got a mix of it all, and I'm excited to show it to you guys. Now I will note that between my manga, movie, and video game collections, the video game collection has the biggest backlog, meaning I haven't played as many games as I would have liked to in that, but you know, it makes sense. It's a big time commitment, but I really am excited to play all of these games. But I've already talked enough in the beginning here. I'll do plenty of talking in this video, so we'll get right into the video game collection. Hope you guys enjoy. If you do, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. So without any further ado, let's get right into the video game collection. Alright, so here we are at the video game shelf. As you can see, I basically have it set up with Nintendo on the top one, and then some leftover stuff for the Switch on the bottom, as well as my PlayStation games. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the video game collection, starting off with the Nintendo Wii. Now, this is the console I had growing up as a kid, and therefore I have the most nostalgia for it. So I have some stuff from my childhood, as well as some titles that I've collected, some games that maybe kids shouldn't be playing. So here we have, started off the collection, we have Resident Evil, The Dark Side Chronicles. Recently got this off of Mercari. I actually don't know if this works, I've yet to test this, but it's a rare one that I got for a really good price, so happy to have it in the collection nevertheless. Then we have Resident Evil. This is the Resident Evil Archives. Never played the original Resident Evil, believe it or not. I'm a fan of the franchise, but have yet to play the original, which is crazy. It's blasphemous, I know. Then next to that, we have Resident Evil 4, one of my favorite games of all time. This is, of course, the Wii version. Will I ever play on the Wii? I don't know, but it's just really cool to have. I was really into speedrunning this game for a while, so, you know, this game just means a whole lot to me. Then we have The Last Story. I believe one of the last games to come out for the system, so graphically it looks really good, and I've heard that the gameplay is amazing. Got this one recently on a sale at my local video game store. They had it for a great price. Moving on, of course, we have Mario Kart Wii. This is a game that I never actually owned as a kid, but of course, you know, Mario Kart is just a staple of so many of our childhoods. So recently bought this from the game shop when they were having a sale, so I can finally say I own Mario Kart Wii. So much fun had on this game throughout my childhood. Then we have Super Paper Mario. Never played a Paper Mario game, but I've heard that this one is kind of a hidden gem. A lot of people really like it, so gotta try this one out. Mario Super Sluggers, of course, the classic baseball game for the Wii. Another one that I loved renting as a kid, and I finally have in my collection to own, which is just so satisfying for the inner kid in me, which, you know, kind of is my whole personality. But moving on, Super Mario Galaxy, a game that I've never actually completed. I would always rent this from the video store when I was a kid, and I just play the first few missions over and over again. But of course, this game needs no introduction, apparently one of the greatest of all time, so gotta get around to this one eventually. Pokepark 2 Wonders Beyond. As a Pokemon fan, especially of the 5th generation Black and White, this game really was so amazing for me as a kid, kind of like a social sim with Pokemon, like building friendships in this wide world. It's really cool game. Sin and Punishment Star Successor. I think this is one of the more rare games on the Wii, I could be wrong. But yeah, it's kind of like a rail shooter, really action-packed, awesome game there. We have Mad World, one of the most, I would say, creative art style games in my Wii collection. I'll put some footage up, but it's like black and white comic book style with red blood. I mean, it looks really cool. Pretty short game, but just gotta love the art style. Red Steel 2, not to be confused with the terrible game Red Steel 1. Again, just style-wise, it looks absolutely amazing. You have these guns and swords, really cool gameplay with the Wiimote, so really awesome game, also pretty cheap too, so definitely recommend that one. Then we have Punch-Out for the Wii. One of my favorite YouTube videos of all time, if you haven't watched it, is the blindfolded world record speedrun at Games Done Quick. I forget which year. I watch that video like once a year, and yeah, that really made me want to pick up this game. Next to that, we have Wii Sports Resort, obviously a classic. Love the basketball mode and the one with the plane where you find like the different checkpoints on Woohoo Islands. Yeah, love Wii Sports Resort, one of my favorite games as a kid growing up. Monster Hunter Tri, a huge game for the Wii. Really cheap, but also lots of gameplay to get through. Haven't played it, but maybe I'll get to it eventually, but it's a long one. Then of course we have Super Smash Bros. Brawl. This was a game that got me into Smash Bros. As a kid, eventually being really invested into the competitive scene with Smash 4 and Smash Ultimate, and this game, arguably the worst in the entire series, got me into it, so this one, just so many fond memories with. And then similarly, we have Star Wars The Complete Saga for the Wii, a game that I put hundreds of hours into as a kid, and it still holds up today. A lot of fun, a lot of charm with this game, so I keep it around. Then we have Wii Sports, obviously a staple, going up in price a little bit, I see, on places like eBay and even some used stores, so glad I still have a workable copy from my childhood. But those are all my Wii games. Again, still looking to grow more of these with some highly acclaimed games, so if you have any recommendations for the Wii that I need to pick up, let me know down in the comments. Now moving on to the DS collection, the first games we have here are some Professor Layton games. Of course, we have the Curious Village and the Diabolical Box. Now, I actually played Curious Village recently. If you guys don't know, basically like a brain teaser game for kind of, bridging the gap between the older audience of the Nintendo DS and people who wanted like a story-driven RPG kind of. This game made me feel so stupid. Had to Google a couple of the puzzles, but still really fun. I'm excited to get into the Diabolical Box that I got recently. We have Ace Attorney. This is Justice for All. I got this for actually a really good price, half price of books. I think I'll probably end up selling this off to get the Japanese trilogy for the Switch, but have this in the collection for now. Then we have Mario Kart DS. Again, a game that I was always playing as a kid. Actually recently got the case for this because I just had it loose, so cool to have this complete in the collection. A lot of fond memories. Now the opposite, we have Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Spirit Caller. I got this game from GameStop when I was a kid, played it for days straight, and could not for the life of me figure out how to progress. And this game is not only super long, but the progression system is super convoluted. Like, you have to do all these events, and there's like timing issues, and no way in hell 10-year-old me was figuring out this, but it's on my bucket list to eventually beat this game, so one day I'll get back to it and try to accomplish my goal. Then we have The World Ends With You on the DS. Haven't played this one, but I've heard, again, some great things about it. Definitely a cult classic for the DS. We have Trace Memory, which is a really short, probably like 5-6 hour point-and-click adventure mystery. Really enjoyed this one. Metroid Prime Pinball. I was really drunk on eBay, and I bought this, and I actually found it for a good price. This is a pretty pricey game nowadays, I think. But yeah, it's fun. It's pinball. Not one you play for hours on end, but fun to throw on the DS every once in a while. Pokemon Conquest. This is a game that, as a kid, I always saw on the shelves, but just never bought it. And now this is like an $80, $90 game, so I had to get it before it got any more expensive, and I'm excited to see what this one is all about. So Pokemon Conquest is basically the start of my Pokemon collection here as we go on the Nintendo DS and 3DS. So of course we have Pokemon White, which is my first ever Pokemon game. Love this one to death. Obviously don't have the actual case, maybe one day, but yeah, this game just means so much to me. And nostalgia aside, I think now it's basically consensus that this has one of the best stories in the entire Pokemon franchise, as well as Black and White 2, which we'll get into in a second. But then we have Pokemon Platinum version. That is a bootleg that I got for like 15 bucks on eBay, but it looks all right on the shelf, so I keep it around. Then we have Pokemon Black version, again, just Gen 5 gem, gotta have both games in the collection, as well as Black version 2. I don't have White 2, but this is the game that I played as a kid. Black Hiram, just really cool design, absolutely love these games. So yeah, probably never gonna get rid of these, even though these Pokemon games are super expensive nowadays. Then moving on, we have Pokemon X and Y. Loved playing that game in middle school. I think it's a little bit overhated. Omega Ruby. Groudon's one of my favorite Pokemon, but I actually never beat this game. I don't know why. I'll have to go back to it eventually. Then Pokemon Moon and Pokemon Sun. I played Sun. Moon is still shrink-wrapped, but really love these games, especially the ending. Lily as a character is one of my favorites in the entire franchise. And Ultra Sun. I don't think I ever beat this, but you know, who knows, one day maybe I'll go back to it. Then we have here Pokemon Soul Silver. This is the box. I don't actually have the case for this. Inside is like the yellow envelope with the manual and the cartridge from GameStop that I bought back when I was in middle school. So only missing the case and of course the elusive Pokewalker, but still kind of cool to have the outer box. I think it looks really cool. Then as you can see here, I have some more 3DS titles, some stragglers that I couldn't fit on this shelf. So going from top to bottom, we have Super Mario 3D Land, pretty short but simple, fun Mario 3D game. Love that one. Ocarina of Time 3D, got this recently from Half Price Books for a great price, so excited to play my first ever Zelda game that isn't Breath of the Wild. Kid Icarus Uprising, another game that's kind of pricey nowadays, but this one is so fun, really utilizes the motion, or not motion controls, the touchpad. Really fun game with some great voice acting. Super Smash Bros. 3DS, again, I had a Wii, didn't have a Wii U as a kid, so this was my means of playing Smash 4 and, you know, keeping up with the competitive scene. Now that Smash Ultimate's out, really isn't any reason to play this Smash game on the handheld, but still a lot of great memories with this game. Fire Emblem Awakening, probably my favorite game on the 3DS. Played that this year, and just, I mean, a game that needs no introduction, super fun. In Fire Emblem Fates Birthright, I know there's kind of a glare, got this like a week ago on sale at the game store, same time I bought Mario Kart, so yeah, gotta get to this one eventually, but I'm pretty confident I'll have a lot of fun with this game right here. So moving on down, you guys remember how I said a lot of these video games in my collection I have not played? The majority of those are in my PS2 collection. That is because, again, I grew up with the Wii, but I wanted to play some of these other games that I couldn't play on the Wii from that same era. So this past year I started my PS2 collection, and I think I've only played one of these games, but I'll still go through them pretty briefly here. We have Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, I believe. Yeah, I love Persona, and I want to play more Shin Megami Tensei games. Really like 5, so I'll get to that one eventually. Then we have Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3. These are the versions that came in like the triple pack with the long box. I don't have the original Metal Gear. I'll try and find it if I can get it for a good price. But again, haven't played any of these, but again, just classic video games that I need to experience. GTA 3 and San Andreas. Again, classics. Never played these, got these a couple weeks ago actually. I would have Vice City, but the copy they had a massive chunk bitten out of the disc and they still tried selling it to me. I don't know, but so for now I just have these two GTA games right here. Then we have the only PS2 game I've ever played and beaten. That is Devil May Cry. This game, it has aged. It is still fun, but so frustrating. Just some of the camera controls, the graphics, at least on the TV I played on, which is like an HD TV, it's super hard to see some things. So I'm gonna try and get a CRT before I start playing these games, but the way I play this game, probably not optimal, but still a fun game. Then Devil May Cry 2. You know, they say real gamers don't skip DMC2, and I'm not a fake gamer, I'll tell you that, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna play this game eventually. I've heard it's terrible, but you know, gotta play it for the franchise. And then DMC3, I've heard the best one in the franchise. Again, waiting to get a CRT to play it, but I am really excited to get into this one because I did enjoy DMC1, so I'm sure I will love this one. Next we have Prince of Persia Warrior Within. I don't have Sands of Time. I just bought this at my local game shop a couple weeks ago because it was really cheap, and I think this is the second or third in the series, so I have to get Sands of Time before I play this one, but again, no rush to get that game, so this one's just chilling on the shelf for the time being. Then we have Zone of the Enders. I love Gundam, I love mech stuff, and this one just looks like a really cool game. Also might get the PS4 remaster for Second Runners, Edge Runners, I forget what the second game is called, but it's a pretty cheap game for the PS4 that I'll probably get eventually. Then here we have Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X2, and Final Fantasy XII. Again, classic games I can never play because I only had a Wii, but when I will get to these very long JRPGs, I do not know, but just games I kind of have to have if you're going to have a PS2 collection. And then we have Resident Evil Code Veronica X for the PS2. Again, Resident Evil fan, I love the mythos and, the franchise, but haven't played this one yet either. Also has a bonus disc for Devil May Cry, which is kind of cool. But that is my entire PS2 collection. Again, leave some recommendations for essential PS2 games. There are still some ones that I want to get, but if you have any really good ones you think I need on my shelves, definitely let me know. Now moving on to my PS4 collection. This is the console that really got me into gaming. This game started it all, that I'll get into in a second here, but my console journey basically went from Wii and DS as a kid right to PS4, so that is a big jump. But this really got me into gaming, showed me, how great video games can really be. As I was a teenager moving into adulthood, I really came to appreciate the medium, and a lot of these games are some of my absolute favorites. So starting off here, we have Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I know you guys are thinking this guy's not really going to explain all these Call of Duty games. They're all the same, just move on. But this game is really special to me because not only was it my first PS4 game that got me into gaming, but this is the game that started off my ThePromG YouTube channel. All those videos are now unlisted, but this game, so many hundreds of hours into this one, and really kickstarted my entire YouTube interest, which is something that I'll always be grateful for. Then moving on, we have... Actually, hold on. I think this is actually the wrong game. I thought this was Black Ops 3. This is Black Ops 4. I was going to say one of my favorite games of all time that I had the most fun on, Black Ops 3, but no, this is Black Ops 4, a game I probably played for about an hour. Yeah, I need to find my copy of BO3 because that game is amazing. Black Ops 4, not so much. World War II, a game that I played for about a week and dropped. No feelings towards this game whatsoever. FIFA 15, believe it or not, this is probably the game that I have the most hours in my entire collection. I mean, I still play this game to this day. The manager mode is so much fun, and just like as a drinking game with friends, playing drunk FIFA is also a whole lot of fun. Battlefield 4, a great shooter. I don't know if the servers are still active, but it's a shame that the Battlefield franchise has really gone downhill, but this game, Conquest on this, just amazing. Moving on, we have Persona 5 Royale. This is still shrink-wrapped. Haven't played this one yet. Actually, don't know if I can because I got the EU version on accident. But Persona 5 is my favorite game of all time. I know a lot of you guys will agree, especially if you're into manga and anime, but this game, just amazing, so stylish. The music, the characters, the social links you make, the gameplay, it's all amazing. Not enough good things to be said about this game. Then we have the Nonary games. Don't know much about this. I think it's kind of like a Danganronpa game, kind of. But yeah, got this for a really good price, and I will get to it pretty soon. Then we have Nier Automata. I'm probably saying that wrong. Every time I see somebody talk about this game, it's a different pronunciation. But this is a game I actually beat this year after years of playing it off and on. Still have to go back and play the rest of the endings, but this one, so much fun. Gave me a good challenge as well, so that's always appreciated. Then we have Jump Force. As a manga channel, I gotta own Jump Force. Love One Piece, Naruto, and Dragon Ball, all those other shonen series. This game is hot ass though, but is so much fun to play with friends. Just have a good time, not take anything too seriously. Then we have Tekken 7, a game I wish I was better at. I love fighting games, love watching them, but I suck ass at Tekken. But yeah, maybe I'll practice Tekken 8 when I get it. Then we have Dragon Ball FighterZ, my favorite fighting game of all time. Really got me interested in the Dragon Ball universe. I played this game before I even read the manga or started collecting all these Dragon Ball figures I have, and I owe it all to this game. Probably one of the best 2D fighting games ever, and definitely my favorite. Then we have Okami HD. Haven't played this one, but of course the art style is the main selling point of this game, and the Japanese mythology. Heard this is a classic. It's on basically like every system ever, so I decided to get the HD remaster for the PS4. Then we have Doom, classic shooter, high-paced, high-octane, love this game. Until Dawn, one I got recently. If you guys don't know, I'm a big horror fan. I've heard this game is actually really scary, and I don't get scared by like movies easily, but I think a video game might give me the scare I'm looking for. Then we have the Danganronpa trilogy. This is, I'm not even gonna pretend I know which games are in this, like 1, 2, and some reload or something like that. Danganronpa is a series that I hear the fan base is like kind of cringe. I know they're like younger, but I've heard from a couple people that these games are actually pretty fun, so I'll get into those ones when I have a lot of free time on my hands. DMC5, waiting to play the rest of the Devil May Cry games in order before I get to this one, but heard this is one of the best games on the PS4. Speaking of which, God of War PS4, one of my favorite games on the PS4. Played this year, finished it up. Again, another game I was playing for years on and off, but finally sat down, beat it, and everything about this, just the story, the characters, the voice acting, it's just amazing. So love that game. And then a game I got very recently, that is Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Apologize for the glare. Again, another game that I hear is an essential for the PS4 and is also really, really cheap, so had to pick this up when I found it for a good price at my local store. And then moving on to my very small Switch collection. I'm not a big Switch guy. I enjoy the Switch, I think it's a great system, but the main thing is that these spines are just so ugly. But actually getting into the games here, we have some good ones to go through. We have, first off, Catherine Fullbody from the makers of Persona 5. I think this was like kind of like a test for the engine for Persona 5, and this game is really fun. Puzzle game that definitely stressed me out while I was playing it, but a whole lot of fun with multiple endings. Definitely recommend this one if you like Persona. Then we have Shin Megami Tensei 5. This is the game that I'm basically playing right now. Again, another really long game, but one I've heard great claim for. Probably about 20 hours into this, so I still have a long way to go, but I'm enjoying this one right now. Then we have Smash Bros. Ultimate, of course. This is the essential Switch game. The best Smash Bros. Has ever been, the largest cast. I think also has the best mechanics, so yeah, this is a game that I absolutely love to death and play at a somewhat competitive level. Haven't played it for a while, though. Then we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe again, another classic party game that everyone needs to have in the Switch collection because it is just so much fun. Pokémon Tournament DX, I think this game is pretty much dead now, but it's Pokemon, it's a fighting game. I had some good fun with it when, people played it. And Fire Emblem Three Houses, this is still sealed, haven't played this, but after enjoying Awakening, I decided I wanted to get this and play some more Fire Emblem games. One that I probably won't play, I kind of need to get rid of, is Fire Emblem Warriors. I don't know, I played like an hour of it, wasn't really feeling it, but I still have it in the collection. And then the final game in my collection is, of course, Breath of the Wild. Now, confession, I've never beaten this game. It's a lot, and I kind of got sidetracked with other stuff, other hobbies. Need to get back to this one and then get Tears of the Kingdom. I hear is even better, potentially. But yeah, this is like the Nintendo Switch game, so gotta get around to beating this one eventually. So guys, that's going to do it for my 2023 video game collection tour. Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing and hearing about all my favorite games that I have in my collections. And again, make sure to leave down in the comments below if you have any recommendations for any of these systems, or if there's a new system that you really think I should collect for, definitely let me know. And if you're interested in seeing my other collections, make sure to go check out my manga collection and movie Blu-ray collection that I recently uploaded. A lot of crazy stuff in this one room here that I absolutely love and I'm so passionate about, so definitely go check out those videos as well. Anyways guys, this has been ThePromG. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and as always, hope to catch you in the next one.